Welcome to the 21st episode of Downtime Podcast, hosted by Alyssa and Jeremy. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Alyssa. Hi, everyone.
Hello. And today we have a very special guest. I'd like to introduce my brother, Jordan.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm Jordan. I'm Jeremy's younger brother. We're about roughly a year apart. But yeah, we grew up together, played a lot of video games together, which is we're gonna touch a little bit on later, I assume.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was invited to be one of the writers on the website, so you might see some of my stuff. I'm gonna release an article soon. Writing has kind of like been a hobby of mine. I've been writing since like high school, but I haven't really had the opportunity to really sit down and write something long in a while. So this is giving me a great opportunity. So I just want to thank Jeremy and Lisa for the opportunity. But yeah, you'll see some stuff from me. I play a lot of indie games. My first article is actually about some indie games, so don't be surprised if a lot of my articles revolve around like different indie game stuff, basically.
Yeah. And I would say writing is more of your passion than your hobby.
Yeah, but I just haven't really found the time. Got a new job and still involved in some fraternity stuff. So yeah, I just haven't had the time.
Yes, and we're definitely happy to have you as a writer on the website. So stay tuned for Jordan's articles, and I read the first one already. The one that's on draft right now.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I spent like a whole week just thinking about it. I was like,
I was reading it and I was thinking, wow, that is like a lot more than I ever read.
Yeah, me too. But we need someone like that, you know, Lisa. We really need someone like that.
Yeah, and I put I put the TLDR stuff too, just in case someone wants to skip a certain section. There's like a summary.
No. That was a good idea too.
For sure. But yeah, your article was really good. And also, it's great to hear like the opinion of, we were talking about it previous podcast, but since Jeremy and I play different games, so you play another type of game too that I don't necessarily play all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's different from the two of us, Elisa, so that's actually a really good thing as well. So the articles will be more diverse, everyone. All our listeners, all our readers and listeners. Now with Jordan on board, they'll be a lot well written, and we can probably get some more some credits for the blog now. With Jordan on, so yeah.
Two brothers.
Oh yeah, two brothers.
In a van.
In a van.
If you watch Rick and Morty, shout out to Justin.
Hopefully you get that reference.
Yeah, shout out to Justin Roiland, wherever you are. So today, I guess the theme of today would be co-op games, and I really wanted to bring my brother on today, not just because that he's a new writer on the blog, but also because he and I spent a lot of our childhood playing co-op games, and we were actually playing one right now on our PC that we built specifically to play emulated games, and it's called The Lost World Jurassic Park for the Sega Genesis, which is actually a really nostalgic game for the both of us, since we both love dinosaurs and especially the Jurassic Park film franchise. And we grew, I think I mentioned this in the second episode of the podcast, but we grew up playing the Sega Genesis among other consoles that our dad gave us, and our dad had a lot of games for the Nintendo NES, the original NES, which I was surprised about.
He had a lot. I mean, not all of them worked. Some of them, like, we'd put them in, they would just, nothing would happen. But yeah, I would say a good few of them did work.
Oh yeah, no, like as when we were kids, we didn't really think much about the collection of games he had. But now that we're older, or now that I'm older, and I guess that we're both older, I think about like, man, like he must have spent a lot on on the console.
Games, especially back then, games were still not cheap. When you have a sibling, naturally you play, the multiplayer / co-op games. So that was pretty much most of what we spent our time. And some of them aren't pure co-op, like Sonic the Hedgehog. Like it's not straight co-op, because I was always Tails.
Yeah. The
but
classic
it's like
little brother.
Tails is like he's like, you don't have your own lives. The camera doesn't focus on you, but you're there, you're there helping out.
Yeah, and you're invincible.
Yeah, well, sort of. Like I could die, but I would come back. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, some games were more like turn-based. Like you could do for the NES, we had Super Mario. Super Mario, you don't play at the same time, but then like you take turns playing. One is Red Mario and one is Green Mario.
I guess I guess by definition that is co-op because it's like a cooperative game, but I don't know why, but I feel like for me when I define it, you two have to be playing at the same time. At least that's how I always think of it.
Yeah, well, you have to be playing at the same time, and you both have to be achieving the same objective. And
Yeah.
that's co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's competitive.
No, I agree. Like in Super Mario Double Dash, that's definitely a co-op racing game, which is actually really awesome.
It's competitive and it's co-op.
Yeah.
Like, you can play, two people can play in one cart, and then two people play in the other cart, and then you fight it out. So yeah, that's like one of the ultimate combinations of both co-op and competitive.
I think that's the only Mario Kart that has co-op.
I think so. Yeah, Double Dash was unique. There were really not any games.
I didn't even know Mario Kart had a co-op of some sort.
Double Dash. Oh, Double Dash was great.
It's still
It's
good.
it's like the person in front drives, and then the person in the back throws the items. They use the items, and then they can also help with like the drifting. When you do the drift, the person in the back is the one that like boosts you.
Yep.
And then you can swap. If you both press the Z button, I believe, at the same time, you can swap places. So like, oh, I want to drive, or oh, I want to throw the items. And then when you hit the mystery boxes to get the items, like both players get one, but only the back player can use it. So the front player can toss you the extra item.
So cool.
It was so great.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, and then also the person in the back can do like a side swipe. Or like, I don't know what you call it, like a
bash.
Like a bash,
Yeah,
like a strafing bash. You could like drive up to another cart, and then the person in the back just smacks them, and you can smack them off a cliff or something.
And you can steal their item too.
Yeah. Oh, that was so great.
And you can also avoid obstacles using that as well.
Yeah. So it was all about communication. It was all about teamwork. So yeah, it was very co-op. It was like, oh, I'm gonna use the boost now. Get ready. Or like, go up on this guy. I want to hit him with a shell. It's like. It was so much fun.
You have to be drift compatible.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah, because like when you would drift as well, you have to be the person to like move the stick.
Yeah. Like you had to know when to do. It was all about timing. You had to know exactly when to do certain things.
Because when you drift as a driver, which is basically the say first player, you can't you can't boost. The person in the back, the second player, has to like wiggle the stick, the left stick, until the sparks turn red, and then you can boost like a full boost.
Yeah, and for the player select, like your players didn't have to go together per se. Like you could have Mario in the back and Bowser driving, or you could have like, I don't know, King Boo and Peach or something. Like you just have these weird combinations. Whoever you wanted, and the cool thing was, different characters had signature items. So if you were, let's say, Yoshi, you had a higher chance of getting the egg, and the egg item, or like if you were or if you were like the Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, you had a higher chance of getting the chain chomp. So it was just like you kind of had to pick your character based on what you think would be best for that particular course or your playstyle.
So Alyssa, Jordan and I beat basically the entire game with the two randomest combination. I was driving as Yoshi, and he was in the back as Baby Mario, and we drove Princess Peach's cart.
Yeah, the pink cart, the pink princess cart.
Wait, that is so.
It's weird.
It was the weirdest combination, but it worked.
Yeah, we kicked ass.
I guess whatever makes it work. So.
Yeah, gotta use what you have. Like I don't know how it worked. We just won. Like even to this day, I'm sure if we still played it,
there was this really OP. It was like the gold car.
Yeah, it was
but we never used it because it was, I don't know, it was too.
It's too flashy.
Cheap. Yeah,
it's too flashy
cheap
for us. Alyssa, did you play any games with your sister growing up?
Not actively with her. It would be me watching her play something or her watching me play, and then we switch off because we mostly had single player games.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I've really only played co-op games with friends, especially when I got to college, because I got introduced to a lot of them, like Minecraft. I played a lot of co-op with Minecraft, and then my favorite one is probably Portal 2.
Oh, Portal 2. Portal 2 has such a good co-op mode. It's great.
Yeah, I really like the co-op mode there. It's fun.
Yeah, because you really have to work together to figure it out.
Oh yeah.
I know. There's something about puzzles and co-op that I think work really well together for sure.
Yeah, I think it's because In some co-op games, you don't necessarily have to work together. Like, you can just both be doing your own thing. With something like a puzzle game, especially Portal 2, like, you have to work together, otherwise you're not getting there.
Yeah, definitely. But other than that, I can't think of any co-op games off the top of my head that I've played. Oh, I play, I guess, Rocket League. Is that co-op? Would you?
Yeah, I would consider that co-op.
If you're playing
on a team.
Yeah, if it's a team-based game, then technically it is co-op.
It's also split screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in that case, I've also played Fat Princess. Have you two ever heard of that game before?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've
yeah.
never played it.
Same.
So Fat Princess is capture the flag, except you have a princess, and the princess starts off skinny, and what the opposing team members do is they feed their own, so your team, you feed your own princess a lot of food so that your princess gets fat.
Okay.
So that when the opposing team tries to steal that princess and bring it back to their home base, the princess is like too fat to carry and is heavy. And then at that point, like, you can steal it or, like, be able to kill the other team member. So it's a really interesting capture the flag game.
That is very interesting.
This looks...
Yeah.
We're looking at an image right now on the computer. It looks like a really... So you all... I don't know how to explain this game.
It's cartoony.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, obviously.
It's very lighthearted, even though the game gets really bloody, and
oh gosh,
it's implying a lot of things, but it's like very cute looking, which is, I guess, there to contrast everything.
Apparently, there's one on PS4 called Fat Princess Adventures.
Oh my god, there's a Fat Princess Adventures.
We're looking
now?
at one that looks very new, like very HD.
And it looks awesome, actually. And it looks like kind of like Sunset Riders. If Sunset Riders was like
$10
isometric game, is it like 5 gigs? Okay, whatever. I don't even know if it's like system, like online co-op, or is it like local co-op?
I would think it's like one big screen and you can see everyone on it.
Right,
so I would think you could do.
Wait, okay,
local.
in online or offline?
Okay.
Co-op? Oh, you can.
Yeah. Offline co-op.
Okay, I will just say that Fat Princess was not as nice as Fat Princess Adventures. Granted that the original Fat Princess was like really cute and adorable, but this is like, whoa, on a completely different level now.
Right. This honestly looks pretty awesome.
With these CG cutscenes and everything. Wow.
Yeah, what the heck?
This
I mean,
looks
they
so
gotta
cool.
update it.
Yeah, this looks
Blood
pretty cool.
and gore. Oh boy.
I mean, I wouldn't mind playing this offline with some friends. Like, it looks like a couch co-op game.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
a party game, like something you
Yeah.
get together, get a couple of
I might have to
friends.
buy 2 more controllers for the PS4. This looks awesome.
Oh, you could do like a horde mode? Oh dang, yeah, this game looks actually pretty cool for $10.
Captain 2 patches.
Yes.
He has 2 eye patches. That's so awesome.
What?
Yeah,
the...
you two need to check out this game.
Yo,
Dang, yeah, this game looks pretty sweet actually.
Elisa, you might have to come over.
Oh yeah, there's like boss. You can do
Okay.
4-player co-op and there's boss battles and stuff.
Elisa, bring a PS4 controller and come over and we'll play this game.
All right. Okay.
I might buy
good.
this actually.
Sounds
This
good.
looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna buy it right now?
No,
like,
not
at this
right now.
very second?
I'm in the middle of a podcast. Are you kidding me?
I mean, you wouldn't be judged if you did.
No, yeah. I mean, I could, but I don't want to right now. Like,
It's got 4.5 stars.
Oh wow,
Pretty good.
yeah.
Out of 1,300 ratings, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually awesome.
Yes, it's a really good one. I definitely suggest it for people. And it's one of those games where a game can take like between 5 minutes and 3 hours. It's one of those.
Wow.
Yeah, because it would just go back and
Yeah.
forth. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's apparently the first one is for PS3 only. And
That's
PSP.
correct. Yes.
And then the sequel is only for PS4. Yeah, I have to buy this game.
So
If it's only for PS4, I think I should buy this.
Action role-playing game.
That's awesome.
Okay.
All right, wow. So name your other. So that's one of your favorite co-op games ever, right, Elisa?
Yes, I would say that. And Portal.
Okay, Portal. Name another one, and then Jordan. I guess you can name yours after her.
I feel like I don't want to say Rocket League. It's one of those things where I feel like there's a better answer than Rocket League. It's just slipping my mind right now.
League of Legends.
They're-
I'm just kidding. Don't
League
say
of Oh God, no, not that one. Jordan, actually, you go ahead first.
Okay, top.
I gotta let this marinate.
Yeah.
Top 3 co-op games.
Like any console, not just PC.
Well, I know of some that are multi-console, but
Right.
so I'd say Borderlands 2 is one of my all-time favorites. Just because it took what was good about Borderlands 1 and greatly expanded it, and it just has such an interesting world. Oh, and then in video games, I am an absolute hoarder. Like, I want to collect everything possible. I want to get all the different good loot, all the legendaries and stuff like that, and Borderlands 2 just feeds into that so much, because the guns are randomly generated, so your gun can have, like fire bullets, and have a really long barrel, and also have a scope, and, like, have low recoil or whatever, or sometimes it could have a blade on the front, or it randomly generates guns based on different pieces and mechanics, and so there's almost infinite amount of guns, and it's just I just want to collect all of them, but you can't. There's only so much room, but like you try to collect the best stuff possible, so like it feeds into that. The characters are really interesting, and the humor is, it's very humorous. It has a really comical feel. The art style is really cool, and yeah, like. And it's 4-player co-op, and you can play different classes with up to 3 other people, and you can just do whatever you want, run around the world, blow things up, do the story. You can completely ignore the story if you want to, but yeah, like it's a really fun story-driven game though. And let's see, other co-op games. I really like the Lego Star Wars games. Those were great. Those are great games.
We played those a lot.
Yeah, I mean, all the Lego games, as far as I know, I haven't played all of them, but like all the Lego games.
That's what I was about to say. I've heard that a lot of the Lego games are really good co-op games.
Yeah, and here's the thing: games based. So everyone's familiar with the whole game and movie relationship. Movies that are based on video games tend to suck, and at best are really mediocre. And then the opposite's also true. Video games based on movies also almost always suck. But there's something about Lego games that's different, because it's not directly based on the movie, even though it is technically movie based, because you have the Star Wars ones, you have the Lord of the Rings ones, you have the Harry Potter ones, and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings are books, but obviously the Lego games are based on the movie version. You have like Indiana Jones, and so like it's something about the fact that it's Lego, because it's not being super serious about it, and it's not you're not expecting it to be exactly like the movie, because it's just Lego, and it's they're kids' toys, but I don't know, they can get away with stuff. They can do whatever they want with it, because again, they're Lego, and they can fall apart, and they can build all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's just the game mechanics of being able to build things, all these crazy things, and all these wacky adventures, and doing it with another person. Like, it just makes for a really great game, honestly. And even though technically Lego is a kid's thing, it's, I mean, like the box says, it's from like ages,
10 and up,
10 to 99 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Lego games are so much fun. Especially Star Wars.
I like how the Star Wars Lego game retells the movies, but like in a comical way that like everyone can enjoy.
Yeah,
like you and I laughed a lot. Like, oh man, this is actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it's almost a Lego parody.
Yeah,
that's the way I would think of it.
It's an official parody.
Yeah, it's a parody of Star Wars. Therefore, you're not expecting it to take itself seriously, so you can laugh at it, and you don't get hurt over the fact that it doesn't follow the game, or it doesn't follow the movie exactly.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of the game Warframe?
Yeah, you told me about it.
I've heard of it before.
Yeah, so it's a game I don't hear a lot about. I don't really see many ads for it, but apparently it is one of the most played games on Steam. Probably because it's free to play. But it's a game I play almost every day with a friend of mine. And it's a lot of people compare it to Destiny, but mechanic-wise, it's pretty different. But appearance-wise, I get why there's that comparison. Because in Destiny, you're like some cool space wizards with all these crazy powers. And in Warframe, you are space ninjas with all these crazy powers.
Space ninjas?
Yeah, like you can do all kinds of flips and jumps and crazy aim glides and stuff like that. And you get swords and you get guns, and each frame, which is like kind of like a suit of armor. I don't want to spoil too much. But
Yeah.
each frame has different abilities. Like there's a guy called Loki who he can create illusions and teleport and stuff. And there's a guy called Rhino who is like a huge tank who can like make themselves invulnerable for like a second, or like do a Rhino charge. And there's so many. There's like over 20 different frames. But yeah, like it's a third-person shooter, co-op. The weapon collecting part is very different from the way that like Destiny does it. You know, in Destiny you can just find weapons on the ground or whatever. You unlock them. But in Warframe, it's more that you unlock blueprints and then you collect either the parts or the resources you need to build the weapon. And there's really no legendary weapons. Like none of the weapons are actually like really hard to find per se. Some of them might be a little more challenging than others. Basically, there's hundreds of weapons and you have access to all of them if you look hard enough. And it has a very fair free to play model, I would say. Like there's premium currency which you can use to buy cosmetics and other things, but you don't have to. You can play the entire game without paying a cent. Like you can trade other players rare weapon mods in order to get premium currency, which you can use to buy cosmetics. Like you don't have to pay any money to get a lot out of the game.
Wow, so it's pretty fleshed out then for a free game.
Yeah, it's existed since 2013, I think. So it's got quite a few years on it. So it's 4-player co-op. And then you go on missions, and there's several different types of missions. Like I'm not gonna list all of them. I probably can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but some of them are like assassination missions where you have to go and kill some robot dude or some general or something. And then you have ones which are like defend the cargo, or it's like, you know. Well, there's in the game there's like 3 main factions. There's these guys called the Corpus, and they're like the robot dudes. I mean, some of them are human, but most of them are robots. There's these guys called the Grenier, and they're like they're clones, and they're also known for being really stupid. So there's these big lumbering stupid clone dudes. And the last one's the Infested, and they're space zombies, because you can't have a game in space and not have space zombies. Yeah, well, I mean, technically there's this 4th faction, but it's basically just like possessed versions of the other factions. But yeah, like there's a lot of different types of missions. There's so many different guns, and it caters to any kind of playstyle. You want to play a support, you want to play a tank, you want to play like a stealthy character, you want to play like a huge AoE character, or you want to be like a gunslinger, or you want to be a sniper, or you want to have a gun that shoots saw blades out, or like an electric whip or anything like that. Like it's got all kinds of different combinations. It just changes up the playstyle so much that there's just endless variety of what you can do.
I think one of my favorite co-op games ever is actually an arcade game.
Oh,
and
man.
It's called...
Is it Killer Queen? Sorry.
No, it's not Killer Queen. It is not Killer Queen. Do you know what Killer Queen is, Jordan?
I have no idea what that is.
So there's this bar downtown San Francisco called Brewcade, and it's like it's an old school arcade bar. And what they have is like a bunch of like, you know, coin operated games that you can get change for. A lot of them are like fighting games. There's actually like, I think Pac-Man's in there, but they have this like newer arcade game called Killer Queen. Killer Queen? Is it Killer Queen or Killer Bee?
Killer Queen
is
the name of the game, and it probably has a Killer Bee as a character.
So it's an 8-player game, it's 10 players, 5 versus 5.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. You can go pretty big with your teams.
And then so the point of it is to kill the queen, and is one person's the queen, and the other people are all like the regular, like the worker bees, and they have to like kill each other, and the goal is to kill the queen 3 times. And so Alyssa and I played this game with one of our coworkers, and it was literally like 9 people versus 1 queen, and he killed all of us, and he won.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he was the queen. Go ahead.
This guy is a master, and he travels to play Killer Queen, by the way.
So yeah, one of my favorite games is an arcade game, co-op game. It's called The Lost World Jurassic Park, and it's different from the first one I just mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, because it's like either it comes in 2 forms. There's a giant machine where you can sit down, and there's 2 light guns. There's a blue and a red one, and you pick up the light gun, and it's like any other light gun game. You point at the screen, there's a reticle, and then you shoot. This one takes place in the movie verse of The Lost World Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. And There's another version where it's a stand-up version that's kind of a classic arcade, kind of like a fighting style game, like a fighting style arcade cabinet, but you stand up and you use 2 light guns. The reason why this is one of my favorites is because Jordan and I spent a lot of quarters and a lot of tokens playing this game at Chuck E. Cheese. I think we first found out about it like 2 years after the movie came out, probably like 1999, 2000, because like our parents would take us to Chuck E. Cheese, but the game wasn't there at the time, and it wasn't until later on when we got older that the game appeared. And in Chuck E. Cheese, there were 2 Jurassic Park games. Well, there's one in the beginning. It was the first Jurassic Park game based on the movie that had like a moving seat.
That was like a rail shooter?
It was a rail shooter, exactly. And it had like a little joystick and you could shoot. And,
I mean, this one is too, but...
Yeah. But this one didn't have a joystick. It had actual guns.
Yeah, the other one was like... It's like if you ever go to those theme parks where you sit in the giant theater and you have like the moving chair. Yeah. It was like that.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the first game. Yeah,
you would move back and forth, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The second one doesn't have the moving chair, but... You move so much more in this one that I feel like you'd probably get sick if the chair did move.
Oh yeah, and so the reason why this is one of my favorites is not because it only has the dinosaurs and it has shooting and you shoot dinosaurs, is because Jordan and I, even on vacation in Hawaii, we went to an arcade and played this game.
Just to play this game.
Yep, and we beat it at the arcade.
Oh god!
Like whenever, like it doesn't matter where we were and what arcade we found. If that game was there, we would find it and we would play it.
You just played it.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, that was our go-to game. Like we knew everything about this game.
It was the game to play.
Oh yeah. Like if we were together and we saw that game, we're like, oh my god, that's the first thing we played. And even if it was the only thing we played, we still played it and we beat it in like 20 minutes because it's a really short game.
We're looking at a clip of it now, and
it's
showing the T-Rex part. There's like a T-Rex. It's basically like in the movie where the T-Rex is chasing them, but it's like the T-Rex goes up to you and it opens its mouth and you have to like shoot certain points on the mouth. It gets really intense.
So some interesting facts about this game, actually. So the developers of this game are Japanese. They never got to see the movie before, because this game came out actually before the movie came out, or was it after? I forget. They never saw the movie, and they were only given like obscure plot lines about what the movie would be about, and they were given like pictures and like references to like the vehicles and the dinosaurs that would be in the game. And so then they took that and they made them into assets for the game, and they basically have their own story. And the only connections they have to the movies are that there's 2 characters named Ian and Sarah, which are one of the main characters in the movie The Lost World Jurassic Park. And so I think it's interesting how
that's it.
Yeah. And so like the locations and all the vehicles and all the characters and all the dinosaurs look exactly like they were their movie counterparts. Yeah. Which is pretty cool.
And there's even a dinosaur in the game that is very reminiscent of the the Indominus in Jurassic World.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they got the idea from this.
Actually, the idea of the Indominus and the idea from the invisible dinosaur in the second game is actually from the book, because there's a Carnotaurus in the book, in the Lost World book, that would turn invisible for some reason. It's like
chameleon. They combine it with a chameleon.
Exactly. They're like, okay,
so that's where they got the idea from here.
Yeah.
And that's probably what inspired the Indominus in Jurassic World.
Right.
Which can turn camouflage. Spoiler alert. But,
sorry. If you haven't seen that movie, it's been 2 years. That movie's made over $1 billion. So if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have seen Jurassic World, and either you liked it or didn't like it. But yeah, so then that's my number one.
I forget. So there's a part where there's a Brontosaurus pooping, and you gotta shoot its butthole.
Yeah.
That's like
they show the poop part like that.
Yeah, we were just watching it.
They show the poop leaving it.
If you don't shoot its butthole, it just craps all over you, and your vision is obscured.
It's a lot of shit.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you literally have to pummel bullets into its asshole. That's the only way to avoid that.
You basically close it up with bullets, so they can't poop anymore.
Oh, and the raptor part. There's a part where the raptors chase you through the long grass, and they just keep jumping out at you. It's intense.
And it's hard to predict, too. Even if you play the game a lot, it's still hard to predict.
Oh, and they do that thing that they do in most arcade shooters and like Time Crisis and whatever, where like there's humans walking around, and if you shoot them, you lose a life, and it's really annoying to get away.
But yeah, so that's probably one of my favorite co-op games ever. It's not my number one favorite co-op game, but it's one of them. A second one would be Left 4 Dead.
Ooh,
the first one specifically, actually, because I like the simplicity of the first game. The second game, I liked it a lot. Like I thought it did a lot of things better than the second. The second game did a lot of things better than the first game. But the first game had like this unique charm to it because it was like one of the first things of its kind to come out, and when Jordan and I found out that we could mod that game with maps and stuff, like we met people online. Like, do you remember that guy named Stranger?
Yeah, there's a guy named Stranger and a guy named Dragon.
Yeah,
that we played with. We had no idea who they were. We were just two random dudes we met, and we played with them a lot.
Yeah, and this is in 2010. I know it was in 2010 specifically because I bought the orange box and I bought Left 4 Dead, and that's when I turned 18. And I went to Best Buy with Jordan and I tried to buy the game, but then they go like, "Oh, you're not 18 yet." I'm like, "It's my birthday today." Like, it was the day of my birthday, and they wouldn't let me buy the game. So I went to the next register over.
Wait, so you turned 18 and they wouldn't let you buy it?
Yeah. They wouldn't let me buy the orange box. I was like, what the hell? And so, do you remember Jordan? I went to the register over and they let me buy it.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Maybe the guy was new.
I guess. I was like, okay.
Oh, there's the crocodile part.
Yeah. So Left 4 Dead definitely is one of my favorites because I sunk a lot of hours to it into the game. Like on Steam, I think I have like 300 to 400 hours in that game. And we played this map that we downloaded called Helm's Deep, which is based on the Lord of the Rings movie, the second one, Twin Towers. Twin Towers? No, I shouldn't say that. Two Towers, not Twin Towers. Oops, that's something else. Two Towers. It's based on the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, and that map was really cool because like you'd see all the zombies running at you from the field, and they would like try to kill you or whatever. And the tank, there would be like 3 tanks that would spawn at once, and you try to hold down the fort.
And then you could climb the very top of the tower.
Yep.
Go all the way to the top where the horn is, and then try to hold out there. But if you get hit by one of the tanks, you would just go flying off.
And then you would die immediately.
Into the battlefield. Yeah. And then there was another map series that I actually really loved, and I think it's my favorite map series of all time from the very first game, which was it was based on several movies and like theme parks. Remember that? Yeah.
I forgot the name of the map. Night Terror. You remember well, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like the first map, I don't remember the first map.
The first map was 28 Days Later.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And the second map was Tintin. Right?
Yeah, Adventures of Tintin.
Which is so random.
I don't know.
And then
wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah. This is Left 4 Dead, by the way. We're still talking about Left 4 Dead, which is crazy.
It was like a Aztec temple. That was from Adventures of Tintin.
It was from the comic book Prisoners of the Sun.
That is so random.
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't the second one?
This is in the first Left 4 Dead game, and this is a modded map. It's not an official like.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was very detailed.
It was very well done.
Very detailed.
Yeah, it was awesome. The third one was the Haunted Mansion, the ride from Disneyland. Like,
it's legit. Like they have all the parts of the ride. You can even get into one of those capsules, and it'll take you through the ride, and zombies spawn, and you keep shooting them.
Yep. It felt just like the ride. Like I don't know how they captured all the audio too, because it sounded like the ride.
They included the audio from the ride, like you can hear them.
Yeah.
No, okay. So if you've ever been to Disneyland, you go into the Haunted Mansion, and then you go into this room, and it turns out the room is like an elevator, and there's like a guy talking as things are happening in the elevator.
Yeah.
It has that part, and it has all the dialogue.
Yep.
And then it has the pictures that move, and it shows them all like mutilated and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
But it's exactly the ride.
It's a 1-for-1 like remake.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, and that's one of the reasons why it solidified like one of my favorite or just my favorite map of all time. So the map after that, the fourth map, because there's 5 usually in the campaign. The fourth map is the Mines of Moria from the first Lord of the Rings movie, and that level is probably my favorite level in that entire campaign. Because Jordan and I would play with our online friends, and we would be like trying to just get through the entire thing because we had to run away in this long hallway. If you've ever seen the movie, there's like this long hallway where they're running away from all the orcs and down a hall into. Well, first of all, before that, you go into the tomb. Baldy's tomb.
I don't remember his name.
Baldy's tomb. You go into the tomb. Yeah.
It was Gimli's cousin or whatever.
Yeah, and then and so a cave troll's supposed to come out, but a tank comes out, and
you see the little well thing, and then there's the book, or the bucket, and then you have
to activate it,
and then the bucket falls down, and then you hear like the drums in the deep,
and
then the drums happen, and then they just break through the door and swarm you, just like in the movie. Oh, it's so good. Yep.
And then after that, you have to fight your way through the very end into the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, which is the climactic ending to that whole scene in the first movie where Gandalf sacrifices his life. Sorry, spoiler alert again, if you haven't seen this movie. It came out like 16 years ago. It's where Gandalf like says, "Fly, you fools," like that part, and like 3 tanks chase you across the bridge as the bridge falls apart.
Yeah.
And so if you get stuck,
you're screwed if you don't make it across the bridge. Like you don't stop to fight the tanks. You just run. You just have to run, otherwise the bridge will break behind you. But yeah, oh my gosh, it's so intense. Yeah, and then that is the reason why I love that map so much. The 5th map in that campaign is from The Evil Dead, which is a movie series from the 80s.
and it's basically one of the dream sequences from the movie where main characters are, I believe his name's Ash. And that level was pretty cool too. Like I'm not a huge fan of the movie series, but the level was pretty awesome. It was really well done, and the ending shows you jumping on the bed and you fade into white, and that's how you complete the campaign.
Up in like a hospital or something.
Yeah. And so overall, the campaign itself is like a love letter to media in general, I think, and that's what I loved about it.
Like classic movies.
Yep. Yeah. Classic movies, classic comics. Like there's a theme park, a comic, a movie, a classic film, and a zombie film in the beginning. Yeah. So it was a weird amalgamation of maps, but it worked somehow.
It was so good. Yeah.
So that's my number 2. Number 3. Oh man, number 3 is gonna be a hard one to pick out, but there's quite a few. I'm gonna have to go with Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash. We talked about it in the beginning. I'm not going to say much about it.
Yeah.
But for everything we talked about in the beginning, I'm going to say that because Jordan and I spent a lot of time on that game. And actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm not going to say Double Dash. I'm going to say specifically Super Smash Brothers Melee. Because Jordan and I spent a lot of time playing that game too.
There is a co-op mode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe Brawl also has a co-op mode. I don't think the first one does, but yeah, like there's like a campaign mode where you unlock characters, and then you can also play it co-op with another person.
Yeah, it's called Adventure Mode, and in Melee, and you can play co-op the campaign, but it's a quote unquote campaign in the game, and you play it co-op, and I think that was really cool to include in a Smash game. And also, a lot of people consider Melee to be the best Smash game ever. I don't really consider any Smash game to be the best Smash game ever, because I think they're all unique in their own way.
Yeah, they're all pretty different.
But I like Melee especially because we spent a lot of our childhood playing on the GameCube, which I can kind of see in front of me. And so those are my top 3. Do you have any funny stories from your childhood, Alyssa, like playing co-op games
or any games?
Because I didn't really play co-op games until I went to college. Because at that point, it had only been people playing like a single player game and everyone just watching around me. Like if it was like my family watching around me, or it would be watching a bunch of my middle school friends playing Halo for 3 hours straight at a party.
Ooh, Halo is also a really good co-op. Most of the Halo games, or all of them, I haven't played any of the recent ones. Or I think they took out split screen co-op in the later ones.
Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah, like Halo is also a really good co-op experience.
Another co-op game that I also played that I really like is Castle Crashers.
Oh, I played that.
Yeah, I have that too. That game's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. That's probably another top co-op game for me.
Do you own it on PC?
I don't own it on PC, but I could probably get it. I've played it on people's Xboxes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, I think all of us own it, or we could own it. Like, Jordan and I definitely own it on PC.
I could own it.
Yeah, gotcha.
If I wanted to.
Oh, I got you.
It is a really good game. I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's like I like the part when you beat the boss at the end where you all fight to like kiss the princess. That part.
Yes, I know that part's really adorable. I like a lot of the co-op games that are like really cute looking for some reason.
Like Fat Princess.
Like Fat Princess, and Castle Crashers is really really adorable too.
Have you heard of Battle Block? Battle Block Theater. I believe.
No, what's Battle Block Theater?
I believe it's by the same people, or I don't remember who it's by, but it's also like that kind of like really cartoony, cute characters. And it's a puzzle game.
Okay.
It's like a co-op puzzle game. I believe it's only 2-player co-op, but there's a 4-player competitive mode.
Ooh.
And it's like the storyline is you are all on a boat. It's not serious at all. It's like really exaggerated.
Oh, so it's really cute looking.
Yeah,
I agree.
You're all on a boat, and then like some cats, I think, like kidnap you or make your ship crash, and you're on this island full of cats, and they force you to go through all these death trap places. There's death trap puzzles, and you have to go through it together in order to defeat the fat cats. And it's like, yeah, it's really random, but it's really fun because you have to work together to not die, and then you have to hop through all these different levels with these spike traps and flames and everything. And it's pretty fun.
I don't own it, but it does look pretty awesome. I might buy Fat Princess before that though.
But yeah, like and I guess yeah, like with any type of game, indies tend to have the most interesting, I guess, concepts when it comes to co-op. Because usually with like AAA games, you have like very standard, oh, just complete the story, but there's two of you now, or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas like with indie games, they tend to do some really like cool concepts. Like there's this game, I don't own it, but I play it sometimes when I go to my friend's house. It's called Crawl, and it's this indie game where I guess you would classify it as a dungeon crawler. That's probably where the name comes from. So basically, in the beginning, there's four people, four like knights or adventurers, and in the beginning, you all fight each other to the death. So one of you survives, and the other three are dead. The other three become ghosts, and they possess monsters and traps in the dungeon and try to kill that one person. So that one person is running through the dungeon trying to get to the end, and the other three are trying to kill them. And if you successfully kill the guy, you become back to life, and you have to run through the end of the dungeon, and everyone's trying to kill you.
Huh.
So it's like, it's really interesting, because it's like you're all trying to kill the guy, but you want to be the one that actually gets the final blow. That way you can survive and try to get to the end of the dungeon. And then at the end...
So essentially, you can just watch everyone hit the guy, and then you can just wait for that moment to be the last one, and then
yeah,
do it.
you could. But if everyone did that, then the guy would just keep going through and winning. So it's like it's really competitive, but it's also co-op, which I think is just really interesting. And then at the very end, you fight a boss, and I believe there's 3 different bosses. It's 2, 3. I just remember there's like a squid guy, and there's like a 3-headed dragon. And so each of the enemy players controls a part of the boss, and then the one guy has to defeat the boss. And then whoever's the guy that's alive, who beats the boss, either he wins, or if the boss kills him, then the enemy players win. So it's a really interesting concept that I thought was really cool for a co-op idea.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, like I don't know, it's just so much potential for co-op games.
Yeah, I would play something like that.
Yeah, it's all local co-op, so it's like the kind of game you would sit down with a bunch of friends, when you're just hanging out and you want to play something.
Our cousin, Alyssa, I think I mentioned this before. Our cousin, Jordan and I's cousin, has a hard modded Xbox. He got it when he was like 16 for his birthday.
Didn't she?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Oh, yeah.
At that bar or whatever.
Yeah. When we were watching the Warriors game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one one. Okay.
Yeah, he has a hard modded first generation Xbox, not the Xbox One, literally the first Xbox.
Wow.
And yeah, hard modded meaning that there's like a chip inside of it, and so it'll like all the games are stored on the hard drive. And so when we were growing up, he would bring that Xbox over, and he even had like arcade games on there. He had like Sunset Riders on his Xbox, like the Simpsons arcade game on his Xbox.
And like Ninja Turtles.
And Ninja Turtles. He had like all this cool stuff, and so we had like a lot of exposure to co-op games because of him too.
Yeah.
So shout out to Andrew wherever you are if you're listening to this.
Yeah, arcade games. Yeah, arcade games are probably one of the best like co-op experiences as well.
So like aside from Jurassic Park at Chuck E. Cheese, there's this other game that Jordan and I
Time
used to play.
Crisis.
Yeah, we did play Time Crisis. That's an awesome co-op game. House of the Dead as well is pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah.
But there's this other game that was really unique by Namco called Lucky and Wild. And it's a driving / shooting game. So there's one player that has to take the wheel and drive. Like it looks like a driving simulator, half shooter. So like half light rail gun shooter, half driving simulator. And it's a co-op game, and it's actually really awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many games like that.
Would you say, Alyssa?
Oh, I have never heard of that game before.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, I think we only played like a handful of times at the arcade at specifically Chuck E. Cheese, and so yeah, that's one of my favorite arcade co-op games because it's really unique. Like I haven't really seen another driving / shooting game like after it, aside from if you want to count Double Dash, Mario Kart Double Dash, but you know, they don't use guns in Double Dash. But yeah, so arcade games are always fun. Our co-op arcade games are honestly like one of the best experiences ever. Like if you live in a big city or if you have an arcade in your town, I highly recommend you go to an arcade and you go and you play a co-op game with your friends because it's a really good bonding experience.
You know they have a Halo, or I don't know if they still have it, but they had a Halo arcade game.
It was just Halo 2.
But it was just Halo 2, and you just play it at an arcade in a machine. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this?
It is a controller too.
Like, I could just go home and play on the Xbox.
Right,
or,
but that's at the
you know?
time when not everyone had an Xbox. This is like
Yes.
2006
I
or
don't
7.
know, but I feel like you go to an arcade to play something that's not, that you couldn't just play at home.
Like
I
exclusively
guess.
arcade.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Yeah, that's why I would go to arcade
Yeah,
too.
like I mean, at Dave & Buster's, they have the sit-down arcade version of Mario Kart,
right.
but it's not the same
Yeah.
as the console version. It's very different. Like they have different.
Right.
Yeah, and obviously you don't play the console version sitting down with a giant. I mean, there's a steering wheel controller, but it's not the same experience as like sitting down in an arcade chair with the giant steering wheel in front of you and stuff like that. But like, it's not the same as just like, I wouldn't go to an arcade and play, like Mario 64. Like I would just go home
Yeah.
and play that.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be cheaper to buy a console and play that game.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh, did you guys hear about that? There's a guy who made a Mario. Going back to co-op, there's a guy who made a Mario 64 for like emulator, or he had a version of Mario 64 on an emulator, and you could play co-op. You could play with like, I don't remember. There's a lot of different people, like almost 20 people, and like
What?
yeah, you could all play together.
20 people?
Something like that. It
What?
was like 15
Whoa.
to 15 or 17 people
In Mario 64?
in Mario 64. So you could all play together, run around the Mario world
That's awesome.
together, and of course Nintendo shut it down. But
Oh, man. Like, you can complete the game
Oh.
in literally like 30 minutes.
yeah, but I was like, co-op Mario 64. I was like, I gotta check that out sometime.
Yeah.
But then like the update recently was that Nintendo found out about it, and they were like, nope, you can't do this, and they shut them down.
Come on. There must be some assets somewhere where you can download and play local co-op.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I heard that he was accepting donations and things like that.
Oh,
so like
that's why it got shut down.
it counts as him making money from it.
Right.
But yeah, like they that would have been cool. I should have checked it out when it was still up.
Yeah. Look that up right now.
Yeah, just look up co-op Mario 64. I believe that they might have taken down his videos though too, but maybe someone else has videos.
Well, the Donkey's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not with two people, right? Like no one's Luigi, everyone's Mario.
I think so. I've never actually looked up videos of it. I just know it existed and a lot of people were talking about it. But yeah, like you could do apparently a ton of players could play at the same time, just run around as Mario. I know he.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Super Mario 64 gets 24 player
Oh,
multiplayer.
it was 24 players? I thought it was like 15 or something.
Oh
Yeah, they took down
this
the video.
contains content from Nintendo, who blocked it on copyright grounds.
Yes. Well, look at the screenshots.
Oh,
wait,
you could be Waluigi.
You could play as the other characters.
I could play Peach. Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, and you can just run around all as different characters.
Oh man, that sucks.
It's so hard to like take a normal game or not a single player game and then turn it into co-op. But like if someone does it, it's pretty cool.
I just want to know if you play on separate screens or if you play on the same screen.
I don't know. I never really looked into it that far.
Also, I guess this is this month. This article got released on
Yeah,
September 11th.
they banned it like 2 days ago.
Oh,
Like they shut it down like
damn.
really recently.
That's fast.
Yeah, I guess it got too popular.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Wait, see if that video works. See, yep, took it down too.
Yeah, we're just trying to find it online. It's okay. Yeah, it's fine. We'll just look it up later or something.
Yeah, there was.
I'm probably gonna look it up later too.
Yeah.
I really want to see it.
Look at that! You can play so many characters. See, this is what I'm talking about. You play all these different characters.
There's Rosalina.
Look, there's 3 Marios and 2 Luigis. But you also have Toad, Waluigi, Wario, Peach. Yeah, Rosalina.
That's cool. Yeah, okay. Well, we can do more research on this later. I think this is really something that I want to look into because, oh man, that'd be so cool if you could play with your friends just this game. But it looks like you can't really download it anymore.
Yeah, they really shut it down.
Oh, shit.
Nintendo has a habit of doing that to really
Yeah.
to mods or fan-made games that get a lot of attention.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
There was another another game that I think would be really cool co-op is Skyrim. If you could like run around the Skyrim world in like a co-op.
Skyrim co-op.
Yeah, and there was a mod. They didn't, as far as I know, they didn't get shut down. But like, I don't think they could. It's a lot of work turning a game like that into a co-op game, just because of how all the physics and things involved. But yeah, like
Yeah.
there was a mod that some people were working on a long time ago, like at least like 2 years ago, and I was following it. And as far as I know, they haven't really made too much development on it. But like they were trying to make like a co-op Skyrim, and I was like, oh, I was looking so forward to that. But I think the original creator of the mod abandoned it at some point.
Man, that always happens.
Yeah, but like it got to the point where you could play in a game session with someone and you could see them. You could like run around the world with them, but you would technically be living in different instances. So like if a dragon started attacking your friend, you couldn't see it. You could see them, but you couldn't see what they were doing really. Like if they were getting attacked, like the people walking around in their game were not in the same places as your game. So like
I see.
it was kind of like you were living in different worlds, but you could see each other. So, but like as from what I remember, that's the furthest they got. I think they made a little bit more progress, but I haven't checked on it in a while. But yeah, like if they made a co-op Elder Scrolls game, and I'm not talking about Elder Scrolls Online, because Elder Scrolls Online is huge MMO. It's not really the same style. As far as I know, it's cool, but it's not the same style as like Skyrim or Oblivion. But if they made like a Skyrim or Oblivion co-op, man, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, one day. if they can do a co-op of Super Mario 64 like 20 years later, they could do it for any game. To be
honestly,
it's gonna wait. I think time is a testament to that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard probably at some point. You know, you could share mods too, as long as everyone had the same mods downloaded. You could all play with those mods, so you could have all those crazy spell mods where you summon Thomas the Tank Engine from the sky or something. You know?
My favorite. I told her to look that up last time. Last podcast, I was like, Alyssa, look up Thomas the Tank Engine mod for Skyrim.
Yeah.
Did you see it, Alyssa?
I saw pictures of it.
Okay, it's awesome.
great,
It's the greatest thing ever.
But yeah, like Skyrim co-op would just be so much fun.
Yeah,
it would be.
With all the remakes, and remasters that this game is getting, might as well put co-op in there. Like, damn.
I know.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's going everywhere. It might as well have a co-op mode at this point.
Agreed.
But apparently they have barely even like the next Elder Scrolls game is not coming out for a really long time. Apparently
because they keep redoing Skyrim.
And they're what are they added some stuff to Fallout 4.
And they have a card game now, I think.
Scrolls.
Yeah.
It's Elder Scrolls card game, I think.
Do you still play Hearthstone?
Or something like that.
What's that, Elisa?
They have an Elder Scrolls card game?
It's a trading card. It's an online trading card game. Kind of like Hearthstone.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't... Why? Just why, Todd Howard? Why? Why would you do this to us? Why did you give us?
Gotta make that money.
Yo, for real though. Like honestly, because like those like online games like that are addicting to people, and they have microtransactions, and those are big bucks with these big companies.
Oh, it's called Elder Scrolls Legends.
That doesn't sound like a trading card game at all.
Because there already is a card game called Scrolls
by Mojang.
Yeah, it's the Mojang one. The guy who made Minecraft.
Marcus Persson.
Yeah.
I believe they tried to sue him because of the Elder Scrolls and then Scrolls, because his game was called Scrolls, and they were like, "Oh, it's copyright infringing or trademark infringing on Elder Scrolls," but I think they settled it or something.
Yeah, I think either they settled, or I think the judge ruled in like Marcus Persson's favor because he made that title before.
But everyone's trying to do card games now. I mean,
stupid.
You can go back to like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think it became popular as an electronic thing because of Hearthstone.
Yep.
And then now Elder Scrolls did it. There's a couple like indie ones out there, and now like Valve is making a Dota 2 card game.
What? Just play Dota 2. Why do they have to play the trading card game?
Have you seen the video of the reveal? It's hilarious.
No.
It's where it's like it's like a Dota 2 competition or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Valve is like, we have a new game, and everyone's like, oh, it's Half-Life 3, it's Half-Life 3. And then it's like there's like the trailer thing is showing, it's like some obscure image, and then it's like black, and then it fades in. Artifact Dota 2 card game, and you hear this really audible oh, it's so great. It's hilarious. You just see this mass disappointment.
Is this at E3?
Oh,
I didn't know. It was at some competition, I think.
Oh, jeez.
It was this Dota 2 card game. What? Oh,
damn.
So, because Valve has not made a game in a long time.
Yeah.
So everyone was like, "Oh, what's it gonna be? Half-Life 3? Portal 3, Team Fortress 3, Left 4 Dead 3. Nope, no 2-card game.
Man, did I talk about that Mark Laidlaw thing, Alyssa, on a previous podcast? I don't remember. About Half-Life 3.
What?
The Mark Laidlaw thing about he's a former writer for Valve and Half-Life. He leaked like the episode 3 of Half-Life 2. Did I talk about that previously? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people know this already. Just long story short, a lot of people thought it would be like Half-Life 2 episode 3 because in August, Mark Laidlaw, one of the former writers and the primary writer for the Half-Life franchise, like wrote on his blog, his personal blog about basically a story outline for Half-Life 2 episode 3, and it seemed pretty legit. And I showed Jordan that, and basically he changed all the names for copyright infringement, and there's been a lot of speculation as to why he did it and a whole bunch of stuff, yada yada yada. But I think that's why a lot of people were disappointed when they saw Dota 2 card game.
Yeah, because this shows that there potentially was a continuation of Half-Life.
Right, and a lot of people are still hoping for that. Like, there's fans creating a mod, not a mod. Well, I guess it's a mod, like a mod add-on, like or based around his quote-unquote fan fiction.
Yeah, and it honestly sounds really cool. Like, if you read it, the storyline sounds, except for the part where Breen turns into a slug monster for some reason.
I don't know.
But otherwise, yeah, it sounds really cool. I don't want to, I guess can't really spoil something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you're interested, definitely look it up. Half-Life 3 script, I guess.
Just look up Mark Laidlaw.
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. Look up Mark Laidlaw. Mark with a C instead of a K at the end, and then Laidlaw,
right.
however you want to spell that, and then look up Half-Life 2 episode 3. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a really good read, and if you're a fan of the Half-Life series, and if you played Half-Life 2 episode 2 and you left on a cliffhanger.
Oh, speaking of co-op mods for games that are single player, Synergy. There's a mod on Steam called Synergy. So if you own Half-Life 2, Synergy turns Half-Life 2 into complete co-op. Everything is co-op. And it's even modified so that the parts where it spawns a car for Gordon Freeman, it spawns 2 cars or 3 or however many players are playing.
They spawn a van.
Yeah, and you can spawn the van too.
Yeah.
And people can ride in the van and shoot out the back of the van.
It's so cool. It's like, you can do drive-bys.
Yeah, like the entire game is co-op, and like everything is adjusted so it fits co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's called Synergy, and there's even custom maps you can play. But yeah, like you can just play entire Half-Life 2 like cooperatively with like several players, as many as you can fit on the server. It's great.
Yeah, Alyssa, if you ever buy Half-Life 2, I recommend you buy the entire Half-Life franchise, but if and or when you do, we should play Synergy.
It's
okay.
Good.
Yeah.
It's fan made, but it has the endorsement of Valve. Like they're like, okay, cool.
Because you can download it from Steam directly.
Yeah, install. You don't have to do some tricky like, download these files and put these there. No, you just download it right off of Steam, and it works if you have Half-Life 2.
Yeah,
and you can just play any Half-Life 2 maps, cooperatively.
Yeah,
you can even turn on cheats and like spawn guns.
Yeah, that's what we did that. Yeah, we did that, and it's pretty cool because it's literally the entire campaign of Half-Life 2, unmodded. The only thing that's added are people, and that's pretty awesome. To be honest,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, recommend. 10 out of 10 would play again.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. Co-op games are just awesome in general, and having a sibling growing up makes co-op games a lot better.
I feel like having a sibling.
No,
co-op games are a necessity.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I agree. When I was younger and in middle school, do you remember do you guys remember the Scholastic Book Fair?
Yeah, what about it?
When I went to those things, all my classmates were looking for like comics or like books or like about like young adult stuff. I was looking for video games. I was literally there to look for video games. Like what was that game with the wrench? Like you were like I forgot. I have the disc. It's in my room. It's literally in my room in like that folder that we have all those old.
The one where you're on a ranch.
No. You have a wrench. And you like to like fix stuff.
Oh, you have a wrench.
You have to like build planes and cars or whatever. I forget the name of it. But anyways, so one of the years, it was like the 7th grade, I subscribed to PlayStation Magazine, and I got a bunch of demo discs in the mail every so often.
That back when they did demo discs.
Yeah, when they did demo discs. This is like probably the last year that they ever did demo discs. I guess so. Well, to me it was. I got this World War II game on a demo disc on the PS2, and then Jordan and I would play the demo over and over and over again, co-op.
What was it again?
I don't remember what it was called, but remember it was like a demo disc. You could play co-op.
Oh yeah.
And then it was a World War II game, and literally everything was the same for everything. Like the map was the same thing every time you played it, so we knew exactly where the enemies would spawn and just shoot them. Do you remember that?
I don't think I remember that.
Oh man, I remember that.
I don't remember this.
I remember, and then we played Black, and then they had.
I remember Black,
and then they had the King Kong demo.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
What World War II game?
I have the disc. I still have the disc.
We'll have to look at it.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it's great.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, also another PS. I did not buy Dynasty Warriors from the Scholastic Book Fair. I'm just saying that out loud. We got it from GameStop, and we played Dynasty Warriors 4 specifically, and that game was fun too.
That game is great.
Yeah, co-op. Honestly, PS2. Every console has a really good lineup of co-op games, but for PS2, I would say that Dynasty Warriors is probably one of the best co-op experiences on the system.
Yeah. Because again, it's one of those things where you can play the entire campaign co-op.
Yeah.
And unlock, and there's a lot of things to unlock, and a lot of characters too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like.
Did you ever play Dynasty Warriors, Lisa?
Any of the Dynasty Warriors?
I've played a few of the Dynasty Warriors, but I've never played the co-op for it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I mean, it was pretty cool that they kept that feature throughout every iteration of Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, and then you have like those special moves, and then if you and your partner and the co-op partner do the special move at the same time, it like pans out and it like circles you guys, and it's very anime, and it's and then time freezes and it's like the camera's circling around you, and then when you release it, you all do like this crazy moves.
It's so cool. It's like basically like it like the camera rotates around you, and I think when you press circle at the same time, it's called Muso mode. Muso mode?
I don't know
how to pronounce it either. But it's called both your special attack, and it looks really cool. And I just remember a lot of like we would like save it up at the same time, Jordan and I. And
we're like, we're gonna unleash it.
And then whenever we would fight a big boss like Lu Bu at the Battle of Hulao Gate, we would like release it and then like and fight him. It was so cool. And so another reason to bring up Dynasty Warriors is that there's this game coming out soon, or is it out now? It's out now in Japan for sure. Called this? Dynasty, or it's called Warriors All Stars. So Koei Tecmo is known for creating the Dynasty Warriors series, but they're also partnered with making other games too. So like the Ninja Gaiden series, and so basically,
Warriors All Stars.
Yeah, look it up right now, Lisa, and go to Google Images, because there's a lot of pictures that show like different characters from the Koei Tecmo franchise.
Oh man, are they gonna have Link?
No. This is only for PlayStation.
Oh. Okay.
So you can't have it on any other system. Like that was only for the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, because they made a lot of Warriors games. Because they have Dynasty Warriors, which is their main franchise.
Yes, they have Gundam.
They made the Gundam Warriors.
Yes.
They made Samurai Warriors. And that was the one with like they went through time or something.
No, that's Warriors Orochi, which is when they combined the Chinese and the samurai together. They made 3 of those games, and they had 3 or 4 or 5 of the Samurai Warriors games.
And then they had a partnership with Nintendo where they did Hyrule Warriors,
which was pretty cool.
Link and female Link.
But this game you combine like Samurai Warriors, you combine like Dynasty Warriors, you combine whatever anime characters there are. Dead or Alive is in this game, and you have Ninja Gaiden, which is pretty cool. I mean, like, to be honest, this is probably going to be the best Dynasty Warrior or just Warriors game of all, because it's literally everything.
Yeah.
It looks really cool, and I think I want to buy it and play it.
Yeah. What the heck?
Is it co-op? It better be co-op.
I mean, that's like a core aspect of Dynasty Warriors. It's single player.
It's only single player.
You're kidding me.
Oh man, I'm not gonna buy it anymore. It's only.
You are disappointed.
I am disappointed because I can't say that every Warriors game is co-op now, because this one isn't.
Come on, man.
Also, they made a Dynasty Warriors version of One Piece.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I'm gonna look that up later.
Yeah, they're actually really well versed in their franchise. Like, even though it's the same mechanic over and over again, like they get pretty good licenses.
Oh,
which is pretty cool. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I think it's like it almost feels like a Lego where they just have licenses to a lot of things for their games.
Yeah, that's actually true too. Oh my god, can I say a story about one of the Lego games for a second?
Sure.
Because it's actually kind of messed up.
What?
So
what?
So earlier this year, I bought Lego Jurassic World, which is an amalgamation of the 4 Jurassic Park movies that came out, including Jurassic World. So Jordan and I found out there's a character creator mode in the game.
Oh no, I didn't really get told the story.
Why not? It's actually really funny. Is it messed up? Is it messed up?
It's kind of, okay, just fair warning. There's some cultural insensitivity incoming.
Yeah, to the game. Okay, we found out in the game there's cultural insensitivity in the game. So we were playing the game.
I have no idea what to expect right now.
Please don't think any different of us after we talk about this. After I talk about this, you can blame this all on me. Don't blame it on my brother. So we were playing the game, right? And in the character creator, you can create whatever character you want based on any of the existing characters in the game. So any of the movie characters.
Yeah. You can wear like Dr. Grant's hat or switch different shirts and things like that.
Yeah, like you can mix up everything in like you can make a female wear male's clothing, for example. So when you start the character creator, it automatically presets to one of the pre-made characters in the game. So let's say Dr. Alan Grant from the first Jurassic Park movie and the third movie, once you click on like the first character creator mode like slot, he appears. And you can scroll through the different options, and one of the options is skin color. And you can change Dr. Grant's skin color to be whatever you want. And so when we realized that you can make basically all the characters like a different skin color, Jordan and I changed the skin colors of the different characters.
We just made like different race versions of all the characters.
And it was kind of messed up. To be honest,
we're like, what if Dr. Grant was black?
Yeah.
What's another character?
Like Eric Kirby,
yeah.
What
if Eric Kirby was Asian?
Yeah. So yeah, like basically you can make these characters wear blackface or like yellowface, and it's really messed up. But we got a really good laugh out of it. Like holy crap, you could do this in a game. I'm really glad that the Lego game is progressive, and they're like it's very 2017. You know, you can make it so that it shows like different. Different ethnicities or not ethnicities.
Yeah, like
races.
Not all the in previous Lego games, all the characters are yellow. Like that's what Lego was all the characters are just yellow, like Simpsons.
Yeah.
But like later on, they started giving them all actual skin tones to match their actual characters. I guess it started mainly when they started making all the movie-based Legos. Like I know Harry Potter started doing that. Star Wars eventually did that. So in the games, they started making it so that not all the characters are yellow. They actually had skin colors that matched the movie or whatever they were based on.
A game that I think I want both like the three of us to play would be this game called Death Road to Canada.
What is that?
It's basically Oregon Trail, but with zombies.
Oh.
And when you stop the car at certain points, it turns into like an isometric shooter, like a xenophobe-ish kind of game. Yeah, where you like run around like top-down view, and the three of you have to gather supplies and kill stuff. So basically, think of like Walking Dead meets Death Road to. I'm sorry, Walking Dead meets Oregon Trail.
Oh! Speaking of 3-player co-op, Bigfoot.
Oh, Bigfoot! Yeah,
Bigfoot.
I talked about Bigfoot before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it on the podcast.
I haven't bought it yet. I realized
it's like $10 or something.
And we're 3 people.
Yeah.
It's still only 3 people, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really small game, honestly. But the first time Jeremy and I played it. Oh my god, it was ridiculous.
I mentioned it on a previous podcast before, and the person I played it with it was Jordan, and and again, like when you're trying to survive, basically it's kind of a survival, but you don't eat or sleep or anything else, and you just have to kill Bigfoot, and that's honestly it's so simple, but it's so fun. I love that game so much. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And another game that's kind of similar in a similar vein that you mentioned in your article, Jordan, is The Forest, which I think is very cool too.
That's a good co-op
and
game.
Alyssa, look into The Forest. Is it in alpha still?
It's still in alpha, but the latest update was like yesterday, I think.
Yeah, they updated it a lot.
It was released in 2014, I believe.
Yes.
But it's still like 3 years later. It's still under development. They're still adding a ton of features. It's kind of scary, but like when you're with, that's why I play with friends. Yeah. But it's you go into these caves and it's super dark and you just hear things and you're like, what is that? I'm climbing back up the rope. I don't want to go down. Or like, come with me, please. It's like, it's so much fun to go up.
Did you play with your friends after we played a lot, right?
Yeah, after we beat the game,
yeah.
I went back and I played with some friends. And then
you kind of expected everything to happen.
No, there's still some things that happened that I didn't happen when we played. Like we would go to sleep and we would hear like all three of us, me and my other 2 friends would go to sleep, and then we would wake up and hear this weird noise, and then there's like all these mutants just around our camp, and we were like, "What's happening?"
Jeez.
It was just
think like Silent Hill and Resident Evil had a baby, but the baby
was
left
I
in the forest.
can imagine that.
But it took place in a similar fashion to Lost, where you crash your plane on a weird. it's like an island, but
Yeah.
apparently it's a peninsula, but it's
Yeah,
basically an
yeah.
island because you're cut
Okay.
off from everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, like your plane
Alright.
crashes and you're stuck in the forest, and there's the others trying to kill you.
Yeah. It's
And
a
it's-
really cool
Got
game,
it.
Elisa. Like look up Death Road to Canada, Elisa. Look up Bigfoot, and
Okay.
then look up the
The
forest.
forest, yeah.
Yes,
Those are really
I'll
fun
definitely
games.
look it up.
And if any of you listeners are tuning in and would like to play some co-op games with us, go to triangle-c.blog and join our Discord at the very bottom on the right hand side, and we can play some co-op games together.
Yeah, not to sound like shameless self plug, but yeah, definitely check out the article.
Yeah.
Because I do mention 3 of my. I play a lot of co-op games, honestly. But there's 3 that I've played within the past year that I think are really fun. So if you have not played them, definitely check them out. They're relative. I won't say them here because I want you to read it. But they're relatively popular. Like most people have probably heard of them at some point, but maybe you played a little bit and you're like, oh, there's not too much content. But all 3 of these games have been updated recently. So there's a lot of more content. So if you're down to play a really cool indie co-op game that's still continually being updated, definitely check out the ones I mentioned. But yeah, other than that, I just want to thank you guys for having me on, and I look forward to writing more.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you on, Jordan.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely.
Yeah, and thanks again for joining the blog.
Mhm.
Jordan, I know you want to spice up your writing chops.
Yeah, I definitely need to brush up, but yeah.
Oh yeah, it gives you a really good chance to do that. But yeah, if you have any questions for myself, Alyssa, or Jordan, submit it to triangle-c.blog. Go to the contact form and shoot us a comment, question, concern. This has been the 21st episode of Downtime Podcast. We're the legal drinking age now.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.
Night, everyone.
All right. Good night.